So there is a far easier route, which the government give us. The government give us permitted development rights. Now, a lot of people will have heard of that, but fundamentally it is the right to take a commercial building and convert it to residential. And commercial buildings are often half the price of residential property. So you get a lot more for your money if you're coming out of a sort of buy-to-let or a flip background. And you're able to make a big uplift in profits. And legislation supports you. Unlike anything else in property, the government are supporting property developers because we need to build 1.5 million homes. So if you go down the permitted development route, you're still getting that big uplift that we want in development. You know, we get a big uplift in land, but we've got to go through the planning system. In permitted development, 56 days is the application period. And if it doesn't come through within that time, you have an automatic right to carry on. And so that thereby minimizes risk. So people that go down the planning route in new build, that's the first mistake a lot of people make. And then the other one they often make is that they go into conversion, they look at a listed building. Oh, I like a listed building, grade 2 listed building. Bit of heritage, I've got a bit of a passion for that. A little bit of emotion creeps in. Avoid listed buildings because you now have someone else in charge of your business called a conservation officer. And some of them are great in this country, but some of them are a complete pain. And so conservation officers now have a control over your business. So really what you want is a very simple, straightforward scheme. A straightforward office, light industrial building, a shop, a restaurant, a cafe. Convert that to residential. That's the great place to start. Don't make mistakes by going in the planning system. That's the first one most people make.
Okay, Fab. And if we just expand on that just a little bit as well. So what would a typical building that we look like, be? Because we say commercial buildings and some people might be thinking, oh, well, I know there's a pub that's kind of shut down the road from me. And hey, there's plenty of those about these days. That'll make a great houses, flats, whatever it might be. But I'm guessing that might not be the easiest route.
Don't do a pub, okay? There's a list, okay? There's a list of certain buildings that are available under this permitted development right. And it's not every building in this country. So that list is any building that's in what we call use class E. And it is things, like I said, offices, restaurants, cafes, light industrial, indoor recreational centres, but it's not pubs. It's not churches, okay? There's a lot of sort of gospel hall churches, those sort of things that come on the market. Pubs, as you say, especially. And the question often comes up, oh yeah, but what if it's a pub that's been closed for 10 years? No, it's still a pub. What if it's a pub that's burned down? No, it's still a pub. It's just burned down. And there are various buildings that are protected or not available for conversion under permitted development rights. So yeah, it's knowing the list. And that is, again, a mistake. It's quite interesting. There's a lot of people that still come to me and say, oh, I've heard, someone told me you can convert a pub. What if you convert a pub into a restaurant, or when is a restaurant a pub or a pub a restaurant, that old argument, and then you can convert it. But you might get blocked. It might be you get permission to turn it into a restaurant, but there is a statement that often goes in from the planners, and for no other use. So they fall foul of that trap. And the problem is what they often have done, and this is a mistake, they've Googled, okay? Google's great, AI's great. And you can go and Google and search on AI for can you convert pubs? And of course, Google AI searches can only search the information that historically has been out there. That's what's available, okay? And there were opportunities to convert pubs. Going back a few years, we could convert pubs. And there's a few people that talk about converting pubs. But right now, you can't. So, yeah, you've got to be up to speed with this, and you've got to know the types of buildings, because otherwise you go and buy a building, it looks cheap, it looks attractive, and then you can't convert it. You've got to go in the planning system.
One wrong move can cost you thousands. Learn from others' mistakes. ypn.plus.